Data and data sources, part 2. Now the choice of a data collection method from the particular source depends upon some factors such as the facilities available, then the extent of accuracy required in the analysis, then the expertise of the investigator, the time span of the study, the amount of money and the other resources which are required for the data collection. And when the data to be collected are very voluminous, that means very large, and require huge amounts of money, manpower, time, some reasonably accurate conclusions can be drawn by observing even a small part of the population, provided the concept of sampling is used in an objective way. Now we are going to see what are the data sources by means of which we can obtain the data. So first we will see about the primary data sources. So these primary data sources are the sources or the data which are collected directly by the investigator, and one can use the following ways to collect this primary data, or you can use any one, or you can use a combination of these ways. So first is called as observation. So what is observation? So in this observational studies, the investigator does not ask any questions to seek any clarifications. Instead, the investigator records the behavior as it occurs of whichever event in which he is interested. Sometimes some mechanical devices are also used to record the desired data. So studies based on observations are best suited for the researches requiring non-self-report descriptive data. That means when the respondents' behaviors are to be understood without asking them to part with the needed information. So diverse opinions in the diagnosis of a particular disease, for example, could be an observational studies. Some difficulties they do arise during the collection of such data because of the observer's training, then the philosophy, the opinions and the expectations. Then the interdependence of the observations and the inferences, and sometimes the inadequacies of the sense organs, or maybe even in the mechanical devices which are being used, they can also cause significant variations in the observations of the phenomenon. Now second one is interviewing. So these interviews, they can be conducted either face to face or they can be conducted over the telephone. So such interviews, they can provide an opportunity to establish a rapport with the interviewer and also to extract valuable information. Direct interviews may be expensive and time consuming. Suppose the sample of respondents is very large, and interviewers' biases also can sometimes come in the way. Such interviews, they should be conducted at the exploratory stages of research to handle the concepts and also the situational factors. Now telephone interviews also can help to establish contact with the interviewers spread over distantly separated geographic locations. Now this particular method is effective only if the interviewer has some specific questions to ask and the needs and the responses are prompt. So since in this case the interviewer cannot observe the non-verbal responses at the other end, then the respondent can terminate the interview from his side without warning or explanation. So this is about the interviewing. Now third way in which one can obtain the primary data is by means of a questionnaire. So this questionnaire, it is a formalized set of questions for extracting the information from whoever are the target respondents. So the three general forms of questions in research methodology, perhaps this also might have been covered, but they are dichotomous, yes or no type response, then multiple choice, or they can also be open-ended, right? Now questionnaire can be administered personally, it can be mailed to the respondents. It is considered usually to be an efficient method of collecting primary data, especially when the investigator knows what exactly is required and how to measure such variables of interest, such as maybe, for example, behavior past, present or intended, maybe demographic characteristics, then maybe level of knowledge, attitudes and opinions. These are the examples. Okay, there are some general principles, of course, of designing a questionnaire which are based on numerous studies and experiences of survey researchers. So these are the three methods of as such collecting the primary data. First is observation, then second is the interviewing method, and third is the questionnaire method. Now we will see about the secondary data sources. Now secondary data means that data which have been collected earlier for some purpose other than the analysis which is currently being undertaken. So besides the newspapers and business magazines, etc., other sources of data can be considered. So first of all, let us talk about the external secondary data sources. Now external data sources can be government publications, for example the National Account Statistics published by the Central Statistical Organization, right? Or for example wholesale price index or consumer price index or Reserve Bank of India bulletins, economic survey. All these could be considered as external secondary data sources. Then there can be also non-government publications which include the publications of various industrial and trade associations. Then there can be various syndicate services which also publish such data. Then there are of course international organizations which publish data, say for example the International Labour Organization or the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which publishes data on foreign trade, industry, food, transport and science and technology. Then the International Monetary Fund, which publishes some reports on national and international foreign exchange regulations and other trade barriers, foreign trade, economic developments, etc. So all these could be considered as the external secondary data sources. Now let us talk about the internal secondary data sources. So the data generated within an organization in the process of routine business activities, they are referred to as internal secondary data. For example, we can say financial accounts, production, quality control, sales records. All these are examples of such data. Okay. Sometimes the data originating from one department of an organization may or may not be useful for another department in the original form. So sometimes it is desirable to condense such data into a form which is needed by the other. Secondary data can also have their own advantages and disadvantages. See, the advantages are that such data, they are relatively easy to collect and they involve relatively lesser time and cost. And deficiency and gaps can be identified easily and steps taken promptly to overcome the same. But their disadvantage is that the unit of measurement, it may not be the same as required by the researcher, right? So for example, the size of a firm may be stated in terms of either number of employees, or gross sales or gross profit, or maybe total paid up capital, etc. The scale of measurement may also be different from the one desired. So therefore one has to take into account all these advantages as well as disadvantages while making use of the data sources. So today we have seen the sources of data. They can be either primary or they can be secondary data sources.